rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. I am Brenda Rogers, candidate for Kane County Recorder of Deeds. As your next Recorder of Deeds, I will protect our taxpayers' investment, bring awareness to the position, and do outreach to our residents and veterans. I am asking for your vote during early voting, mail-in ballot, or on November 3rd. Vote for Brenda Rogers, Kane County Recorder of Deeds, paid for by Citizens for Brenda Rogers.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:06 a.m. and you're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we've got a special day today. It's going to be Music Friday, but today is Music Tuesday. And we got Molly Compton in the house. What's up, Molly?
What is up? Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Good to have you. Good to see you.
Love it. Yeah, no. This
Got
is super
my
exciting.
co-host Christine.
Nice to meet you guys.
Good morning.
Got
Love
JV.
Leah.
And we got Hunter. So
Hunter,
good
my
morning to
man.
everybody. All right.
One and only Hunter.
All right. So we got news, weather, and sports for you guys. So, and now the news.
All right. Have you been driving downtown Aurora lately?
I have. I was down there yesterday.
Have you been seeing all the sugar skulls popping up in the windows?
It's very morbid, but very creative. Yes, I have.
Okay, let's not call it morbid, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, just to see the different
Catrinas.
artworks coming up. So that's the one thing too I just like about the season and getting
that,
everybody.
yeah.
It's a
Beautiful.
great way
Yeah.
to get involved. And if you're interested, you can.
Chris.
There's still an open call for art. Artists can submit an artwork to auroradowntown.org. Sugar Skull City is a month-long celebration in downtown Aurora that celebrates and honors the cultural and local tradition of Day of the Dead. Another thing going on this week is First Friday, and First Friday is October 2nd, and they're going to be having the 4th annual Cups Bra Drive. It's being held at the Aurora Regional Fire Museum in downtown Aurora from 5 to 8 p.m. This event will benefit women and girls living in homeless and battered women's shelters throughout the community. Check out their Facebook page for more information and how you can donate. There's going to be music and prizes, local vendors, and I heard there's even going to be a photo booth there. So come check that out. In sports today, Good Morning Aurora Sports, the White Sox play their first playoff game in Major League Baseball since 2008. You said you're on the south side over there.
Yeah, I'm about a mile from the Sox field. So
All right.
Go Sox, I
Go
guess.
Sox.
I'm mostly there for the hot dogs.
They'll be in Oakland today at 2 o'clock our time. Monday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens 34-20. Did you see, too, that Patrick Mahomes' mom sent out a tweet last night calling out ESPN? We were just talking about moms, and she said, if this announcer doesn't stop calling my son Pat, I may scream. Patrick. So
That'd be
shout
my
out to all
mom,
the
huh?
moms again who, are
Shout
out
out
there.
to my mom. I love you.
Voicing their concerns, standing up for their kids. Stanley Cup champions, Tampa Bay Lightning. They beat the Dallas Stars for that matchup. And then finally, Doc Rivers is out as head coach of the LA Clippers. He
Dang,
gone.
That made a lot of news
He
yesterday.
gone. He gone.
I saw a lot of memes with him yesterday.
And
All right.
now, the weather.
All right. The current temperature is 43 degrees with a high of 60 today. That high will be reached around 2 p.m. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy, also with a high of 64. Next week looks a little bit better with a high of 69. That's on like Tuesday. Yeah, right? It's going to be 69. It's going to be nice. In preparation for the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Funding Cycle, the City of Aurora will host a pre-application webinar on Monday, October 5th, 2020 at 10 a.m. The webinar will provide information about project eligibility, agency capacity, and the application funding process, as it also provides an opportunity for residents to learn about the CDBG program. Participation in the pre-application webinar is highly recommended. The webinar is viewable via remote access at Zoom. We have the link and the associated details. We will post that today on our Facebook for you guys and let you guys get a peek at that. Also, digital applications will be available Monday, October 5th at 8 o'clock a.m. At the Aurora, or AuroraIllinois.org slash 1175 slash neighborhood redevelopment. We will also post and highlight that link as well. And it must be submitted by 4 o'clock p.m. Monday, October 23rd. More to come. Shout out to Visual Arts, Roots Aurora, and Aurora Public Art coming together. The Aurora Stronger exhibit, a community that came together Friday, October 2nd, this first Friday from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Gallery 1904 at 1 East Benton in downtown Aurora. Visual Arts will be premiering the documentary Our Streets, and the exhibit will feature over 25 photographs of the unrest that took place on May 31st. And several of the mural boards that were painted downtown Aurora will be shown on display like a gallery. Well, it's not going to be like a gallery. It's like an actual gallery. So
It will be a gallery.
right. It will be a gallery. Right. Virtual Manufacturing Day Hiring Event is a free online event this Thursday, October 1st, 9 a.m. to 11, and that's with the Kane County Sheriff's Office. During the event, you'll learn about the Kane County Sheriff's Job Board, forklift driver certification training, manufacturing careers internship program, and employers with immediate job openings. So we have the link for that as well. We will post that on our Facebook and our Instagram. And if you know anyone who is needing a job or looking for work, this is a perfect opportunity. Shout out to the Kane County Sheriff's Office, Ron Hain and all that, and the whole staff over there, Judy Dawson. All
Judy
y'all,
Dawson.
you know, from the front office to the back, all that. Deputy Demeter, you know how we do. We going back, baby. But anyway, enough of that. Now it's time to get into our wonderful interview with Molly Compton. Glad you're here.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Hunter. Hunter and I, we are cut from the same cloth from Millikan University, so it's always nice to see some peeps.
Shout out to the mill. Shout out to the mill.
Mill killing it. Yeah, I know.
All right. So we're gonna learn about you. You're gonna play some music for us as well.
Yeah, I'm an open book. Ask me whatever you want.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, here we go.
Yeah.
So first things first, tell the audience who you are, where you're from.
My name is Molly Compton. That is my real name. A lot of people are like, "Is that your stage name or is that your real name?" I'm like, "No, my real name is already a bad stage name, so suck it."
Right.
And I'm from Belleville, Illinois, which is right next to St. Louis. So a little itty bitty town.
Nice.
But we love her. And now I've moved up here, and I moved up to Chicago in 2018, August 2018. I've been working for a man named Martin Atkins for the past almost 3 years. And I've learned more than I could ever have hoped to have learned in that time. Done a couple of national and international tours with him in terms of like organizing it, and then done a lot in the DIY scene in Chicago.
Nice. And your educational background, what did you study at Millikan?
I studied commercial music, so I studied voice, and then I did a lot of engineering. I actually interned in Nashville to do vinyl mastering, but whenever I graduated, Martin was like, "Don't do that, come to Chicago." And I was like, "Okay, what could go wrong?" And so here I am. And some things could have gone wrong, but they didn't. So
They did. It's all working out.
Welcome to Chicago, the place where if it can go wrong, it will.
You know, and I love it for that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Chicago is that, like, I don't know. I feel like in some cities there's a lot of kind of gatekeeping in terms of like, oh, if you aren't working with this caliber producer, this caliber studio, like, you know, you're just a hobbyist. But in Chicago, it's like you're either making good art or you're making bad art. You know, you're an artist. Right. You know, and I love that kind of community and that kind of you know, embracing of just everyone and what they have to say.
Growing up, what impact did your dad have on your life?
My dad? Oh, my dad. My dad, I mean, he's just the best. I mean, he would do anything for us. And you know, but he was super into cars. And so I have a love for, you know, old cars. Whenever I see them, I think of him, and a lot of prog rock. Like my mom was super into, so I actually have like a theater background originally. So like my mom was super into like Rodgers and Hammerstein, like the classics, and then also like the Carpenters and John Denver. And then my dad was into like the Commodores and like Kool and the Gang and Yes.
Oh yeah.
So.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
Shout out to the Commodores.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car? One that drives. I'm not picky. No, my dad, my grandma had this beautiful Jaguar, and I loved that Jaguar. It was gold. So.
Nice, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to know those things. I think when it comes to the artists that we've had on, a lot of them, almost all of you, have said that the parents have been like positive influences.
Yeah. No, I think like you either have a really great experience with your parents and you make music about how you just get to make your art, or you had a really bad experience and you get to make music about how bad it was.
Right.
So
Either way, it'll work out.
Either way, it's good art or bad art.
Yeah, good or bad. Well, no. Like, then it's just like trauma or not. So.
Right.
But yeah. I think my parents are a huge reason why I'm doing anything related to music.
That's very cool.
My sister, she's actually an opera singer, so my whole life has just been kind of like one long weird voice lesson. So,
Wow.
yeah.
You mentioned Martin Atkins, and it
Yeah.
sounds like he's made a big difference in your life. Tell everybody who
Absolutely.
he is.
Okay, so
And-
Martin Atkins, what a guy. So he's a Brit. So he says he fucking what? Like that.
I love the Brits.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But so he, like, his first gig out of the gate, so he would be backing strippers when he was like 10, and then
Okay.
he played and then his like first real gig was playing drums with Johnny Rotten in Public Image Limited.
Okay.
And so it's like his first experiences were like these international tours, villas in LA, all this stuff. And then he left that, and he's played with Killing Joke, Ministry, 9 Inch Nails. He has a Grammy from 9 Inch Nails.
I love 9 Inch Nails.
Love 9 Inch Nails.
Love me some Trent Reznor.
Yeah. So Trent Reznor, he's a member of Pigface as well, which is Martin's. It's kind of like an industrial supergroup. And so last year we did a 16-date tour all across America and a couple of dates in Canada, with Pigface. So.
Nice.
So that was
Awesome.
a crazy, insane learning experience. But he just so he teaches at Milliken now. That's how I met him and how Hunter met him. And he teaches music business, and we just make a bunch of really cool shit happen. Like I think his energy is what has really kept me going in the quarantine. 'Cause right out of the gate. So he's collaborated. So the past 10 years, he's tweeted, "Get the F out of bed. Your career won't ruin itself," something like that.
Right.
Which is true. Because his idea is like, if you wake up at 5 and your arch rival wakes up at 10 a.m., you have 5 hours on them. And then in a week, that's 35 hours. In a year, that's like a couple of weeks. That's like 2.5 weeks over a year. And so that's his deal. And so then eventually Dark Matter Coffee picked that up, and how he has his own brand of coffee called Get the F Out of Bed. And so right when the pandemic hit, he came up with this idea of like, stay the F inside. And so then we just started printing like these bags. They're very crude. Like we just like bought a bunch of like bakery bags, and then I've learned how to screen print in this, which is super important if you have the means to learn how to screen print, which you do. It's only like $80 to get a kit at Blick. You definitely should. And so we're just printing these bags, and then putting the coffee in it, and then we've been taking the profits from that, and donating them to clubs, or we'll just send them some of these bags, some of these shirts, a button, and they can do a package, and then that generates it costs us like $10 per set to do this, and then that generates $40 for them,
Awesome.
all these venues.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of evolved into a couple of different things. There was
As it would.
And he's not one to not extrapolate. So
It's like Gremlins, just one drop and then it's just
yeah, he's like a British punk rock gremlin. Yes, I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
He's gonna like that quote.
He's gonna really like that.
And I was referring to like the movie, like One Drop of Water, right, on Gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
okay,
freaks
yeah,
out.
yep.
Yeah, no, that's totally him.
Yes.
But it doesn't take like any water. It just takes him like waking up. But so that's kind of evolved. There was like get the F in the shower, you filthy bastard, which is hilarious. And so then you get a bar of soap that looks like a coffee bean, made with the coffee grounds, and it's like a whole thing.
Nice.
But so like that's evolved, and now we just announced on Friday the Pigface Stay the F Inside tour, quote unquote. So we've paired with Noon Chorus and about 40 other venues. So Noon Chorus is going to host a stream of the Chicago Thalia Hall show from 2019, which was insane. Danny Carey from Tool
Valley
played.
Hall?
Thalia Hall.
Okay. Oh, Thalia Hall.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Thalia Hall. Did I say it wrong? I totally
No, you said it's just my, you know.
Oh no, it's fine. Like I would not put it past me.
It's like the first time you heard resume. Resume? Like,
Resume?
no, you uncultured bastard.
I know. Like,
That's my fault.
No, it's like, and so we're doing a stream of that show, which was insane. There's Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, Dan Carey from Tool, Andrew Weiss from Ween, all these insane. Galen Lee, who's amazing. And we're doing a live stream of that, and then each venue that we've paired with has their own unique link, and so then whoever buys from their link, there's a 50-50 split between the venue and us.
Okay.
Nice.
Which is kind of insane when you think about it at this point.
All right.
But I'm excited to be able to do these kinds of things to support, you know, small venues. We've been doing a lot of stuff, especially to support artists of color, which is just an absolute necessity at this point. And it's nice to be around that kind of energy, for sure.
Yeah, it is. You know, I don't play an instrument, but I can tell you, after being at a lot of like gnarly ass shows with some radical punk rock kind of,
Oh yeah,
those kind of people, like
totally.
it's fun.
It's
like
the whole-
those people. Yeah, that's that's the energy right
yeah,
there.
it's a whole culture, and it's like, and I think like there's like I don't know, like you don't have to play an instrument to appreciate that kind
You
of
don't,
energy.
right. Right.
And I mean like Martin doesn't read music and he has a Grammy, so it's like
Shit, live your dream.
Live your
Anything is
dreams.
possible.
Live your dreams. Yeah,
Right, right.
like now's the time, you know, go get the uke and figure it out. You
Yeah.
know, like you got time. I think that's been another part of this quarantine. It's like you have the time now, hopefully, at least in some ways.
There's no excuses. You can do what you want.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, of course, there's a global pandemic, so it's like, you know, take a nap every once in a while if you want to.
Right.
Right.
But like,
Right.
like we all need to recharge. but like, you know, now's the time.
Now I wanted to ask you about the uke specifically, but you have the mandolin.
Yeah, I
That's
have
what that is.
I have my mandolin here. It's basically it's tuned like a backwards violin with 2 strings. So the joke is mandolin players, they spend half the time tuning and half the time being out of tune, which is true. But I think that's true for any bluegrass.
Nice.
But yeah, I picked that up a couple of years ago. I don't even know why. It was just kind of a thing.
Is that specific to a region of the world? Where's the highest concentration of mandolin players?
I mean, so this kind of mandolin, there are like several different kinds of mandolins, and there's also like a thing in Russia called the balalaika,
Okay.
which is somewhat like this. But mandolins, like this version of it, is mostly like American bluegrass.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now you play the ukulele as well.
I do.
Okay.
I have this beautiful little uke that my sister brought me back from Hawaii. So
Oh,
that was
very
nice.
cool. If you play all stringed instruments, is that correct?
Well, I went to school for voice, and then I played saxophone in high school. but,
Oh, okay.
but the rest of anything that I play for shows now for like my own stuff is stringed pretty much. Yeah.
Impressive.
Great.
So here's my next question. How long would it take for a person who never picked up one to learn how to play the mandolin?
Oh, the mandolin. I mean, it's not that hard. If you have it's tuned in fifths.
Okay.
So if you have like a pretty basic knowledge on how like a guitar works almost, it's basically that, but a
Oh,
little
okay,
bit
it's that
longer.
easy. All right, yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
I mean, there's less strings, and also it doesn't. I mean, I think bluegrass especially is rooted in a tradition of just kind of like playing by ear and playing with your community and playing, with your family on like a porch. So none of this stuff is like you can go as deep into it or as
I'm glad you.
superficial.
All right, now all right. Let's go deep.
Yeah.
I see the rabbit hole.
Yeah. I love.
Where does bluegrass stop and blues begin, or blues stop, bluegrass begin? What is that?
Personally, I don't think that. I don't think that it stops anywhere. Personally, I think there. I think once you lose the banjo, you get more into blues, or when you electrify any of this stuff, like an electric guitar, I associate more with the blues.
Okay.
Like a mellow electric guitar, but.
You get more the picking, twanging. That's more like a bluegrassy sound.
Yeah. The twanging and with the double strings, you can do like a tremolo, like a. Yeah.
That was shit.
Sorry.
That was awesome.
I was like,
Word of the day. Tremolo.
Yeah.
tremolo. Yeah, that's what's good.
Oh, that was awesome. I thought that was the word of the day, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I think once you lose that, and you kind of electrify it, that's more the blues. But I think they say the same thing almost all the time. And it's, it's rooted in the same tradition of community.
Let's talk Tennessee.
Okay.
Didn't you say that you learned something in the woods of Tennessee?
Oh,
The hills of
okay.
Ten-
So my first project in college was called Trouvère, which are like French troubadours.
Mhm.
We are very pretentious. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Trouvère. But my sophomore year of college, I went on a trip to Nashville with a class, and we ended up very randomly in this studio, but it was like a tank maintenance tent in like the middle of the woods, and the studio is like run on like car batteries.
Right.
And I walked in and I was like, this is the place. And it was run by a man. It's sadly no longer, but it was run by a man named Ron McLean. The man is like a Dr. Doolittle. Like, he could hear when there was a new frog around. He's ridiculous. Right. And I went up to him and I was like, what's the rate? And he's like, oh, well, I'll give you a family friends rate, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, done. And he was like, call me in a week. And I called him in 3 days. And he was like, okay, when do you want to do it? And I was like, oh, I want to do it, like in June, like now.
Right.
And so we went, and it really wasn't until we pulled up to the tent that the 5 like grown men that I brought with me to play on this record were like, are you sure about this?
Right.
I was
The
like,
hills
you're
have
doing
eyes
this.
type of
Yeah.
shit.
Because you're up in winding roads, and it's just like
Frog in
where
the
are you
corner,
taking
and
me?
he go right.
like it really, like it truly wasn't until we like pulled up that they were like, really? And I was like, yes, trust me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and we basically like camped for 2 or 3 days. It was super hot during the day to where like the computers wouldn't
Yeah.
even work.
Damn.
So we would like go into the city during the day, and then we'd record all night. And you can hear the frogs, you can hear the crickets, you can hear the rain. So that was a super
That's
fun.
some good bluegrassy music.
Yeah.
For you to
At
sit there
that
by
point,
the-
it was more like kind of like folk jazz-ish kind of thing, but yeah, it's hard to top that kind of an experience, and it's hard to top like, being someplace with all your best friends,
Right.
doing what you love to do,
Would you rather be in the country or the city, or does it vary?
I mean, probably the city. I hate being hot and being sweaty. But
And the hills of Tennessee, sweaty and hot.
yeah, it's like murky.
Yeah.
But I also like there's just so much going on at any given time in the city. Like there's never gonna be a time when you do something and like nothing's going on. That's just like never the case,
Yeah, I think that's cool as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, the city is a fast-moving place.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
Fast-moving beast, so it's perfect for a musician.
Yeah, yeah.
Ultimately, right?
Yeah, and it's Chicago has built a great community around, independent music. So
Oh yeah, with a long, rich history of,
Absolutely.
speakeasies, switchblades,
Yeah.
and hooch.
Truly love the hooch. Sorry.
And just like that, it's the wine and travel show. What?
Is it too early?
The time is 8:30 in the morning, and we live and we woke. All
Good
of us. We're
morning.
woke the hell up. Yep. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we are having an awesome interview with our friend Molly Compton.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing, Molly. I want to ask you about something very special, and I did some research about this.
All right.
Let's talk about the Midwest Music Expo.
Oh,
What is
yes, the Midwest Music Expo, MMX,
Yep.
near and dear to my heart. The first one, this is also a Martin Atkins fueled fever dream.
Okay.
The logo is like this vibey elephant riding a bicycle with a uke in the basket, and it's ridiculous.
Oh, that's vibey.
You're having a good time.
Right.
This year it's pink, which I love pink for some reason now. And so the first year, when we did it in person, we had about 250 people. Look at that, pink.
Oh,
Love
that's
it.
dope.
Nice.
So
I like
that's
that.
actually that's our next event. This Friday at 12 p.m. Ace Piva. He's a mental wellness expert in Canada.
Mhm.
So I think he's in Toronto, but don't quote me on that. But he's going to join us and talk about mental health and wellness in the music industry, which is so important, especially right now, as people have dwindling access to therapy and medication. But so Midwest Music Expo, the first year in 2019, it was an in-person event in Decatur, Illinois. On Milliken's campus. It was beautiful. It was lovely. And we had, I think the farthest presenter was from Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow.
And then we had, in about like a 150-mile radius, we had about 250 people come in, which was awesome. And we had a great time, bunch of panels on independent producing and like touring on labels. And then some like legal issues. We had Eddie Sanders, who's a great music attorney in Chicago. He came down and did like almost like private consultations, which is so nice of him.
Right.
And then this year, it's supposed to be the second year. Like, here we go, let's go. And then I think we all know what happened.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Woo! But the best thing about this happening is that like you have the ability to talk to like anyone in the world
Right.
now. So this year, our we called it the MMX All Dayer. So as soon as COVID hit, Martin was like, okay, we need to do like some weekly sessions. And we're like, okay, cool. And so like the first one he did it, and he did like a screen printing workshop, which is kind of his like fun expertise kind of thing. He like really loves screen printing.
Mm-hmm.
And then his expertise is in a lot of things. Oh my god. And then we had Galen Leon talking about accessibility. So do you guys know who Galen Lee is?
No.
So Galen Lee, she's the 2016 Tiny Desk concert winner. She has brittle bone syndrome, and so she's very small and she's in a wheelchair.
Is that through the iHeartRadio sponsorship?
I'm not sure. Tiny Desk is NPR.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
all songs considered. But she's a firecracker. She's a giant among men. And so she plays the violin on like a looping pedal.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came on and talked about, accessibility and, disability rights
Right.
within the music industry. Because, I mean, so many historic venues, they don't have...
Aren't accessible.
Yeah, they aren't
Right.
accessible,
Right.
which at this point it just feels kind of unacceptable, but people just accept it. But so she came on. We had Eddie do some legal stuff. We've had Emily White, who wrote the book Interning 101, come on and talk about interning, which is, I think, something that's kind of glossed over nowadays, but it's super important. And then the MMX All Dayer that we had in May was literally all day of panels. We had Wendy Day, who's the hip hop queen. She signed like one of the biggest hip hop deals in history. Lowell Tolhurst from The Cure came on and spoke. Randy Blythe from Lamb of God came and spoke about sobriety and how all that works within quarantine. Oh God, we had so many people. We had a health and wellness panel then as well. So we did this all day event, and there ended up being about 600 people from about 23 different countries this
Nice.
time.
Wow.
So it's, yes, COVID sucks, and all these people are losing their lives, and that's awful. But like, what an opportunity to bring all these different people together.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Bring awareness to some of these topics.
And so
Absolutely.
some of these really important things. And so we're gearing up for the next all dayer. That'll be November 14th. It'll be a Saturday, and we always have weekly sessions.
Where's it gonna be at?
It's gonna be on Zoom.
Okay.
So
November 14th.
Yeah, November 14th. If you follow Midwest Music Expo on any of the socials,
Okay.
then you'll
Midwest Music Expo.
Yep, Midwest Music Expo, EXPO. And yeah, so I'm really excited. This one, I'm kind of spearheading like a discrimination panel almost.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of look at discrimination within the music business from all sides. I'm approaching Shauna Potter, who wrote Making Spaces Safer and who is part of War on Women in Maryland. And so she's all about like kind of eradicating sexual harassment and assault within these spaces, which is kind of all of our responsibility. But it's exciting to be able to approach these people with a very cool opportunity and platform, and get to talk to them, And it's basically like an in disguise like job fair for the students.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't, like in the music business, you don't get a job through an application, really, like almost never. Like
Right.
It's like being at the right place at the right time, helping the right person at the right time.
I like that. Like, I'll be, I'm not a musician, but after like working in corporate America, every like opportunity or job I got after that was not like, oh, come sit down and fill this out. It was like,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna tell you, here's my man, go talk to him, yada yada. Maybe
Yeah.
you gotta, for posterity's sake, if the company requires you to fill out, you gotta fill it out.
Sure.
But yeah, nah, it's not like
Yeah,
no
no,
hiring.
it's just not like no studio is gonna be like, we're hiring.
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great way too, because to make connections, because everyone complains about your generation just being, you're always on your phone, you're not talking to people, and this is a perfect way to reach out to people not only in your area, but like you said, throughout the world.
Exactly.
Get ideas, share perspectives, and expand, grow yourself.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to like kind of hit home with the students as well. Like when and if they do come talk to me about like their future plans, they're kind of like, oh my God, and I'm
Right.
like, no, it's gonna be okay. It's okay if you work at Jewel Osco for a hot second. That's okay.
Calm the F down.
Just
Right, yeah.
calm down.
Just keep playing your guitar.
Just keep playing your guitar. And I mean, I think there's just like absolutely no room for one specific skill set. Like you have to have like 10 different skill sets.
Yeah, that's the thing with our generation too. Because you've been I don't know about anybody, but like we've been indoctrinated.
Yeah, like the jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. But
yeah,
it's like,
but like your
no.
parents are telling you, look, you go to school, you get a job, stay there 25 years, get your gold watch. That's it. Don't your dreams and shit. That's not gonna pay the bills. It can, but when you're told consistently that you gotta, right, then you're doubting it and everything. So yeah, you're working at Jewel Osco, but you're playing the guitar. They need to be told like keep playing that guitar. Like
yeah, and it's,
don't worry about you a cat. You pushing carts. That's cool.
and
Keep playing
you
that shit.
And I think there's like a lot of people aren't talking about like I experienced a harsh post-grad depression. Like I could not get out of bed like the August that I moved here. I was just like, what in the world is going on? I have no purpose. I have no direction. I can't see my friends. I've been in school for 20 years and now I don't know what to do. And
Right.
I think like I've been trying to let people know it's okay. Keep going.
Right.
it's gonna suck. You're gonna be tired all the time for no reason. But as long as you do what you gotta do, and then also find the time and the energy to do what you want to do, you're gonna do all right. And
I'm a survivor. I won't gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like, and one day you wake up and you find a therapist and you figure out what's going on.
So the time is now 8:40 a.m. and you're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We're with Molly Compton. You've got some music to play for us.
Yeah, I can play a tune for you guys if you don't mind.
All right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let's see.
Great.
Let's see what we got. Yeah.
So I do have, as everyone has, they have an album coming out. And mine hopefully will be coming out in January. I like to do things around my birthday because I'm self-centered.
It's all about you. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
But it's also good planning. You might have, I got enough money for one party, so if I put them together, damn, it's gonna be the birthday release party.
Exactly. And then I have to be like, oh, you didn't buy my album, but it's my birthday.
Right. It's all
What
good,
the
bro.
heck, man?
Yeah.
And so hopefully that'll be coming out in January. It's gonna be called "Please Don't Show My Mom This," because I
love that
curse
title.
in one of the songs, and my poor mother.
I got it. That's how we were talking.
And then, but the single that is hopefully coming out next month, October, it's called "Sicker," and that's what I'm gonna play for you guys today.
Nice.
So thank you guys so much for having me on.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, this is awesome. We appreciate it.
All right, here we go. Tell me where I went wrong. Tell me when I should have seen the cracks in the wall. Tell me where I should go. You're the one who always really seemed to know. Not the mic if you've got one to make one night on the spot for me. By all means, be the gatekeeper, the hot shot one. Hang me from that tree and tell everybody it was me. Tell me I have no voice. Tell me like I really never had a choice. Tell me you'll be around. Tell me you'll keep me firmly planted in the ground. Rip my wings off and harvest the parts. Take my eyes to I haven't had a use for them in years. Tell them I'm the reason the ship went down quicker. Tell them I'm the poison in your blood made you sicker and sicker. Tell me where I went wrong. Tell me when I should have seen the cracks in the wall.
That was awesome.
Thank you guys. No.
That was awesome. That had some definite soul in it.
Oh, thank you.
Definite
I was very
soul.
sad. But so one of the first shows I played in Chicago, I was playing a show where they would alternate between musical acts and comedians. They do like 5-minute sets. And I came off stage and I went on a stage. LOL, it's a living room. And I went onto the porch and someone was like, that was nice, but I was very confused. And I was like, oh, why is that? And they were like, well, I thought you were like one of the comedians, but then you were singing these very sad songs, and I was like, what's so I was mistaken for like one of the stand-up comics at the first show. And so I think,
like, lady, you have a funny brand of comedy, but you know, that's cool.
Weird.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Need a
Yep.
therapist? I got one. Jokes on you. But so and I think I kind of take the sense of humor that I've had throughout everything I do, and so the next shirt that I do, the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Yes.
It's actually the tattoo that is on my butt. That is on the pocket. So you too can have what is on my butt.
And and that's Bambi.
It's Bambi and my little mole.
Nice.
So here's where we get into the screen printing.
Yeah. So I didn't actually do these, but I could do them.
It can be done.
It can be done. It's super easy. Come to MMX. We'll probably do a screen printing workshop inevitably. But so the next one that I'm doing is just gonna say "Sicker, I hardly know her," because I'm a 12-year-old boy.
Now you
But
said
yeah.
the album comes out in January.
Album should come out in January. The "Sicker," the single, come out next month, hopefully.
Okay.
And yeah.
And how can people find you?
They can find me right now. You can find me on Bandcamp, mollycompton.bandcamp.com. And then once the single's out, that'll be on Spotify, Apple Music, all that jazz. So
You got Instagram?
we got an Instagram, Malster Mash.
Malster Mash.
Yeah,
I like that.
My sister calls me Malster, and it sounds like monster. So Malster Mash.
Malster Mash.
But yeah, Malster Mash, and then I have a Facebook page. Please like it. It's helpful. Or don't. I'm not a cop, so.
Nice. Nice.
What's next for you?
What's
Or
next?
Or what do you want to do?
Oh God, I don't know. I really more and more. I just want to help people, and how much time do we have?
We got we got like 8 more minutes.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, time.
So
you got time.
Yeah.
I can tell
Oh
you.
yeah,
I
speak.
get
Oh, speak your mind. Yeah.
Okay, I got. Do you guys want to hear my $1 million idea?
Girl,
Absolutely.
do it.
Great.
Yeah.
It's probably won't make me $1 million. That's okay.
It might, yeah.
Who knows? But so I'm kind of in the preliminary research phases of this thing that I've been calling DIY HR, or DIY human resources. So let's say you own a small studio or a small label, or a small venue, and you can't afford to give your employees health care. So here's how you can help them apply through the government. Or, what happens if someone is, works overtime? How are they being compensated with either pay or time off, or, whatever. Or, God forbid, there's sexual assault or harassment within your sphere. Who do they go to? What's the protocol? Because it's not a lack of passions, it's a lack of protections, I think, in our industry in particular. And so right now I'm just kind of picturing it like a little zine, like a little book that I can just give out to people and be like, if you want to operate this way with me, then let's do it.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure it's like a living document, because I by no means have all the answers, and I by no means have experienced all of, some of the worst parts of the music industry. But I think we can come together and make it better for sure.
Right. It's a lot of valuable resources, but just
Yeah.
specific to the music industry, which is
Yeah.
already limited in so many ways, budget-wise.
Truly. And yeah, so that's been kind of like my pet project on the side in all my spare time.
Right.
But
Yeah, I've read some interesting autobiographies from musicians, and while they were playing different genres and stuff, that it was the consensus was that there are no protections
no.
for an individual, and the kind of things that happen, the kind of everything from shady contracts to the spaces of how they house you and stuff like this, your
Yeah.
transport, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there should be some basic minimum. So I think that's great.
Yeah. And I've been looking at a lot of corporate DIY, and it's all about onboarding and incentivizing your employees to work harder and all that. But that's just not the issue with us.
Right.
And really, really, by human resources definition, that's not what corporate HR should do either. But one thing at a time.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
The spirit is right. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But so yeah, I mean, I think that's what's next. Doing whatever I can.
That's great. I love that.
Sicker, the single.
The single.
Check it out. Spotify, Apple,
Check it out
oranges,
soon.
pears, grapes, vanilla. That's
Dragon fruit.
dragon fruit.
Great.
Yeah. Yep.
Papaya.
Very good. Very good.
Cherries.
Cheers. Mango.
Oh,
Are we
I was
just
going to say
doing-
mango.
Oh, dang.
Kiwi.
We are on the
Oh.
same wavelength.
Tangerines.
Ooh, what isn't that close to like orange?
No, not at all. Not at all. They got a whole
what?
different flavor.
Do they?
Yeah.
Hot take.
I don't know.
Hot take.
I feel like at some point it's just all citrus, you know. Okay, if this is why I get canceled, honestly, that would be fine. Like, I honestly would be happy to go out like that. I will die on this hill.
Oh man.
Thank you guys so much for having me on this.
Yeah.
It's been a
Thank
lot of
you.
fun. It's been nice
Thank
meeting
you.
guys.
And thank you for, playing some music. We love to
Anytime.
hear it. I cannot wait for your album to come out.
Thank you.
I want to send it to my daughter.
Love
She'll
it.
probably love it, of
Yeah,
course.
But yeah, that's what my mom does.
The show ends on a positive note.
Okay.
So what's Molly Compton's message to the people
Message to the people.
on this Tuesday?
Be nice. Work hard. And do what you gotta do. I think right now, a lot of our issues can be solved with being more engaged in our communities and talking to our neighbors more and taking care of each other.
Word
Right.
up.
Word up. I also, on the back of my shirt, it says Molly Compton always wins.
Where's that tattooed at?
Nowhere yet. I
Ah.
might do it on the inside of my eyelids.
Alright.
No, I say that to myself in the morning, to just kind of get me through the day.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah. So you should say, X being your name always wins because you can make it happen.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, all we do is win.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
You make the most out of whatever you got.
And it kind of sends a message if it's on your shirt. People coming up to you like, all right, she's got it together. Don't
Molly
mess with her.
Compton
And
always wins. Oh
boss.
no. It's mostly like she has nothing together, but she believes that she has it together.
That's
and
okay.
She believes that you have together. You know.
All right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, much love to you, Aurora or
Yeah.
Juliet. Aurora. Oh God.
Aurora.
I wish I was dead.
The world, yeah, just the whole world.
What's up?
Yep.
Anyway,
This was a good interview.
Thank
so
you.
keep in your mind about a part 2. We're gonna part 2 this up. We're gonna
love
part
it
2
when
this
the
up.
album
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
yes.
Yo, Hunter, good look, baby. Part 2 this up. We're gonna part 2 this up. This is gonna be the one.
Love it.
Anyway,
Thank
on behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we like to say that we hope you guys have a safe, positive day out there. Don't forget to highlight all the activities taking place in Aurora this first Friday coming up. There's a lot of cool stuff going on with Visual Arts and the Roots Aurora, all that. Shout out to downtown Aurora, and we hope that you stay motivated, positive, and winning on this Tuesday.
Yeah.
And from the second largest city's first daily news podcast to you,